it is student and staff painted. We designed it, but we didn't feel like it would actually fit Kilcawley's history if it wasn't painted by the students and staff on campus, because ultimately this is a building that is about harboring diversity and friendships and kindness and just interacting with your fellow students and staff.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
This is the Kilcawley mural, and it's done to give a final happy farewell to this building until it is renovated this summer and for the next 2 years. It'll be up for about 4 weeks before this wall will be going away. And we started this project by Kilcawley contacting Professor Dragana, and then from there, Dragana contacted me and Emma to be on for the project, which we both agreed for.
We were approached to try to encapsulate over 50 years of data in one piece, which was a lot, I'll admit, but whenever we kind of took a step back and looked at the big picture, we came down to the idea that Kilcawley is mostly about community. Everything kind of starts here. My first day at orientation was here, and I was just as lost as everyone else seems to be on their first day too. And just trying to find key iconography or moments that really stuck with us.
We started with this big research meeting, including many faculty members present and past from Kilcawley. And this ranged from anywhere from the original director back in 1974 when it opened to students that were my age that were working in the department right now. That night was really inspiring for all of us to hear just this depth of stories and laughter and sadness and really funny things that happened over the years, like filling the Chestnut Hall with sand for beach event nights that would never fly today, to our modern Penguin events like bingo and we just did a cruise theme night that was really fun.
We also wanted to make sure that we did recognize that there was a huge history that came before us and that people have such deep-rooted experiences here that I'll never actually be able to get to really know just because I wasn't born in 1980, So to be able to hear about that and to try to find moments that mean a lot to them was really fun. It was a challenge, but it was a fun one.
So our task became, how do you fit 50 years of history in about 50 feet of wall space? How do you include all these iconic moments in the iconography that we show? So that's what we attempted to accomplish, and I think we did a really nice job. We had tons of feedback from the staff here at Kilcawley, and there was lots of revisions that we went through, and I think we were all super satisfied with the project.
It kind of just turned into a big timeline of shareable events and memories that we can all relate to in one way or another, even though none of us were all born at the same exact time.
On the far left side is our 1974 side, and on the far right side over here is the 2025 area. So it ranges from the 70s, and then there's a little area for the 80s and the 90s. Then we get into the 2000s, and then the 2010s, and then the 2020s. Of course, the Jam Bar has been here longer than Kilcawley, but we felt like it should be front and center because it's been here for so long.
A lot of the big ones were definitely from that first meeting, from people from the 80s and the 90s, and hearing about how they brought all kinds of people in and had all these weird shows, and that I believe they had an entire beach week with luau going on, and seeing Pete in a grass skirt wasn't something I anticipated, but was a pleasant surprise.
We have things like the mug from the pub. We have the beach Pete that was before Pete was trademarked. So when we used to be able to change Pete a lot. So he has a little hat on and a little hula skirt. It's really cute. We have lots of students interacting with each other, whether that be via music, like our singing penguin along with our guitarist right here, or dancing, or painting the rock, which is right over here on my left, which has always been a huge deal. Painting the rock, a lot of groups on campus take a huge advantage of that. So we tried to grab the most key moments from 50 years.
To know the lengths that they went to just to give everyone a good time, it's just nice to know that this isn't just a building. It could have been in just a place where, the food's here, the people are here, sure, but they definitely tried to embed a lot of the fun back into it.
Another really important part of the mural is the fact that it is student and staff painted. We designed it, but we didn't feel like it would actually fit Kilcawley's history if it wasn't painted by the students and staff on campus, because ultimately this is a building that is about harboring diversity and friendships and kindness and just interacting with your fellow students and staff. So it has been super, super fun to see people come up and pick their own colors, the ones that speak to them, the areas that speak to them, and fill them in, but it's been super duper fun. Why it's so important to remember Kilcawley is something that I learned through this project, and it was just hearing stories from people, even outside of the meetings that we had about the actual project, was so important to me. And I remember when I told my mom and, my mom's friends that I had been working on this mural, they were like, oh, I remember the pub, I remember the pizza, I remember this, I remember that. And it just became such this positive conversation starter with people, and how much this building, whether people realized it or not, had really changed and influenced their time here at YSU.
I think it's really easy to forget the now, and that people definitely came before us, and that the people that work here had their own lives, and that they went to school here alongside us, and that it's almost cyclical in terms of that we're all able to relate to that we are going through college or we've gone through college, and that this is the building that a lot of it happens in, whether it's just to get your school ID or to get lunch one day. This is a nice place to go if you're lost, for one, and just to have a good time with some friends, and not to forget that just because a building might get torn down, that it's got to be this really sad thing, because it's not. I think that the Kilcawley renovation is definitely going for a brighter future in terms of usability and understanding all that. But just because this building goes away doesn't mean the community aspect goes away from us either.
We've been painting for this entire week. We started Monday and we're ending on Friday.
You can quite literally for the next 2 days just come on up. The paint will be out and ready, and the Kilcawley staff is more than happy to show you where it might be able to go. Fill in the blanks kind of moment. Leave your mark sign at the bottom if you'd like.
The next painting times are tomorrow, I believe, from about 10 to 4:30, and then Friday is the final painting day. The big thing tomorrow is that we will have one of our bands here on campus that's practicing for Federal Frenzy here concurrently with the mural painting, so it'll be a super fun time. But yeah, if we actually have marquees that are out that have the time, so if you pass by it, it's all on the marquee.
And even though this is temporary, know that it still has an impact, because people will be seeing it for the next couple of weeks, and it will get torn down eventually, but that means it'll still stay with you at the very least. I think that's another big thing in my heart at the moment, is that even if the evidence doesn't necessarily exist, the experience still does. The new Kilcawley, I hope that we can all navigate it a bit easier, for certain. But I also hope that we all just kind of make it the place it was before almost, where it's like, oh, Kilcawley's back open. Let's go swarm it again by deciding to all go to Duncan at the same day for some reason. Overall, I just like that no matter the roadblocks that kind of get put in our way, that whenever we have an opportunity to go for art, creative events, that we all come together and take part in it together.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.